couple of things. The main thing is the water heater, okay? Because again, you're not going to be able to take a look at a lot of stuff. Basically, there are two: electric, bad; natural gas, good. Okay. The problem with the electric water heaters are the heating elements. They cycle so much; they turn on and off and on. It's like a light bulb, turn on, and they're going to burn out. Now, are they easy to replace? Yes, but you're going to pay through the nose for somebody to come out and take 5 minutes. It's going to be a $220 repair. Take one out and put it back in. And you can do it yourself if you're so inclined, but two things I do not deal with are electricity and poo. So that's, I don't touch any plumbing or electrical. I'll hire somebody else to do it.
Are you saying you didn't change diapers?
Oh, I changed diapers.
That's a different kind.
But my sister has an 18-month-old that she wants us to babysit while they go to the Caribbean, and I'm not touching it. My grandkids are the next one I'm going to do. So,
You did.
yeah. So, and then the natural gas, obviously, much more efficient. They last. See, the problem with any water heater is the tank itself. The tank is going to fail before a gas. Right. The element fails. Okay, they've got about a 10-year life on them. Okay, if you're in the 9 to 13 range right now, replace it before the thing explodes, please.
Wait,
because
gas or electric, which one had a 10-year?
They both do.
Oh, okay.
Right around 10 years. You might get 15 out of them, but don't push it because
how much would you estimate for a license value?
we'll talk about that later.
Depends. I have a condo that I rent out at Ruston Town Center, and we just had to put one in. It's electric because that's just
right, because you can't vent it. That's the only thing about the gas.
Search around for a unit small enough to fit in the outside closet, and it was still $5,000.
How much?
For the water heater.
How much?
What?
No.
No, I'm talking about the HVAC. I'm sorry.
Okay, I was going to say I want to work for you.
No, you know what?
Should have called me. I would have only charged you $4.
Sorry, I sounded like I was thinking electric. I was thinking electric heating, not water. Yeah, that's a little ridiculous.
Yeah.
No, you know what? I've never had.
You just see it if you're paying attention.
Yeah, but especially if it's in a condo or if it's in a finished basement or something like that, you will be at. If you've never seen 50 or 75 gallons of water, that it spreads out, a half an inch deep. Forget it.
Why is it they put electric in all the condos?
Because the gas has to vent. Has to vent directly to the outside.
Okay, I was going to say, because it seems like it's so cheesy compared to...
It is, I mean...
Look at those turn-off monitor things they're selling now.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely they do. They have water monitors that you can put in the pan or nearby that will alert you if it ruptures.
Is that what it does? It sends an alarm?
Yep, they actually have digital ones. They have ones now that you can have an app and put it on your phone if you're away. Yeah, exactly. Or it's like a smoke alarm. It just starts yelling like crazy. But great, now the thing explodes. By the time you get down there to find the shutoff valve, which is usually buried behind grandma's stuff everywhere, now only 40 gallons have gotten out of the 75.
You might want to just wait till it's really flooded so you can get a really nice claim and get new everything.
Yeah, perfect. Exactly. Yeah. Yes, sir.
Here's just a little kind of word to why over the years of something you might hear about on an electric hot water heater. Maybe it's a rental property you own, it could be your own. All of a sudden the water it's kind of lukewarm. It doesn't get real hot. Well, most of the time, I've never seen it, so almost 100% of the time, both elements in an electric do not go at the same time. And one will go or the other, and all of a sudden one goes, and you might get a phone call. You might get a phone call from your tenant. You might get a phone call, it might be your house. Like, water just doesn't seem all that hot. Right. If it's an electric hot water heater, chances are one or the other has just gone bad, and probably it's worthwhile, I don't know, depending upon the age, replace the one, and...
Just happened to me last week in a basement that we're doing in McLean. Somehow I got blamed for the water heat, no hot water. The lower element went.
Does draining it prolong the life at all?
Absolutely.
How often should you drain?
You should do it twice a year.
Really?
Once a year is good. If you can do it once every 2 years, you're going to extend the life. Because what happens is, you know, minerals and sediment and all that stuff in the water. And it gets processed through here, but it gets filtered out. And when it's heated, all those minerals settle to the bottom. It looks like aliens come out of that drain valve half the time. It's
Do you do that
nasty.
with the electric and?
Yes,
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
you should. And I actually had on my, actually it was on my laptop that fried, but I've got a couple of documents that show it's really, really easy to drain it. The biggest pain in the butt is obviously it needs to go outside, or because I never trust the drain that's in the floor. You know, hooking a hose to here and running it outside, and then you make sure everything's off, and then you just open it up and let it drain out, and go outside and watch the show. Holy moly, the stuff that I've seen come out of water heaters is unbelievable.
I have a question about the pans that go on the bottom. What if there is no pan? Can you install something after the fact, or?
Yes, it'll be expensive because you have to raise all the pipes are hard. You have to cut all the pipes and then raise it up, slide the pan underneath, and then resolder everything and all that stuff.
Because I've seen that where it has no pan, and if it doesn't have a pan, is that a problem?
No.
Okay.
Code requires there has to be a drain within 6 feet of the water heater. There has to be, so there should be in your closet, in your unfinished space, 6 feet.
Now, is that newer code? Because like I live in a house that's 1963, and there was not.
I think right now we're running on the 2004 code.
Those pans won't hold anything anyway.
No,
I mean,
they're for slow. They're for slow leaks.
Alarm, they need to put your
Yeah.
alarm in there.
They're for slow leaks, and it's a place where you can put, because if you put your alarm in the wrong place and it happens to be the high point, you know, and the water's running this way, a lot of good it does you, right? So that's the whole thing. Typically, you draw a straight line from the water heater to the drain, and you put it on the ground, between that, because in theory everything slopes towards the drain.
Same thing with
In
the
theory.
washing machines, is it really worthwhile to have it under there?
Have a pan?
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Those
absolutely.
ones are big. I feel
Well,
like
that's
I
Again,
Yeah, it's code now, but
Yeah.
I'm just thinking that, I've been in a lot of houses for inspections lately that don't have a pan. And houses that are in
Yeah.
other ways really
those are much
updated.
easier.
the biggest thing that does is it buys you time. If you happen to be home and you hear the water line break, it buys you time to go turn it off. That's about it.
The same one from yesterday, didn't have
Yeah.
a pan.
Hey Craig, when you drain it on a gas, on a gas tank, on a gas hot water heater, should you turn the pilot light off?
You don't have to you do not have to turn the pilot light off. You don't have to. I always do. Same thing. Trust but verify. Because relaying a pilot light's really easy. I shut everything off, just to be safe. Okay. But yeah, on this basement over here, the lower element went, and these guys that own the house, it's a 40-gallon hot water heater. It's literally this tall and like this big, servicing the whole house. And it was 9 years old, and he's yelling at me because we just put a bathroom in the basement. He's like, "You were the last time one to touch the plumbing." Blah, blah, blah. It's 9 years old and it's 40 gallons. They have a shower. They have a shower in their master bathroom that's half the size of this room. You'll go through that 4 times when you take a shower. No wonder why. I'm surprised it didn't last. So, anyway, $600 to replace the lower element was what FH Fur.
600 just for the element?
Yep, just for the element.
Oh,
That's what after hemming and hawing and me pretty much telling him I'm not paying for it.
Right.
He bought a 75-gallon and I think that was $1,600 installed. Okay, and
Was that a shock?
yes, and he went back with electric, and he has gas in the house, and it drives me nuts. That project is.
So what's the
That was about
difference,
2,000.
what would the difference in price be, to Sheila's question, for electric and gas?
The gas is going to be a little bit more expensive, not exorbitant, a couple of $100 more. For me, if I'm spending $2,000 on a hot water heater, because mine's a 75-gallon. I've got 3 kids, 1 teenager, 1 soon-to-be teenager, girls, that take 90-minute showers.
Yeah.
And one of them has red hair, curly down to here, so it takes her 20 minutes just to comb through the conditioner. I'm going to go with the tankless. So I think the next one's, here you go.
Okay.
Tankless water heaters are relatively new. They supply an endless supply of hot water.
Not instant hot water.
It's not instant. It still has to travel through the pipes.
Right.
And depending on
It
conditions
can
and
take
things
a
like
while.
that, it can take a while. That's why a lot of times when we're redoing a master bath, if it's a question of the water supply, I put a spot located tankless heater in the bathroom, specifically for the master bath, especially if they have crazy showers. Okay, it doesn't. They're expensive. They are really expensive. They're anywhere between $4,000 and $8,000.
What?
Yeah, but he's talking
Just
about
for
a
a
special,
bathroom?
not for
No.
your whole house, it's not that much, it's just.
It is to get them installed. They have to. They can. The biggest thing about the tankless heaters is, especially with the gas, the electric are less expensive. The gas ones are about $4,000 installed because they have to be vented on their own. You
Yeah.
cannot hook to another vent. You can't tie into your furnace vent and have everything vented there.
Well, so do they have a longer, a lifespan?
Much longer lifespan. Well, actually, they're relatively new,
Well,
but
they knew in the States, they've been over in Europe for a
long time. But they're new here.
Bio-brand.
We're just starting to. We've been using them for about 15 years here. They say their lifespan is somewhere in the 25 to 35 year range.
Wow.
Yeah.
Again, because it's not constantly running.
Yeah.
You know, you're away for a week. Your water heater's heating the water for you right now. You're traditional, no matter what. So
It's cutting down your cost.
We were talking about the house at the
pays
beach.
for itself.
We were talking about the house at the beach, and right now we have the just electric hot water heater,
Mhm.
and it's like outside under the, So I was talking with the other owner about doing tankless. It's it's the whole house is electric. There's not a certain like size for if it's a smaller place, like is there a smaller size or is it just one size fits all for?
No, there are different sizes. Absolutely,
Okay.
absolutely. It all depends on the amount of supply that you're looking for. Personally, I wouldn't recommend splitting that with another house. No, so you're getting one
we have our
for
own,
yours.
we,
Okay,
it's-
okay,
we were just
okay.
discussing it because
Yeah.
it's a vacation property,
Mhm.
so people are and it's on the beach, so people are
Right.
showering, and if you're the last one in the shower, then you don't have hot water.
They'll pay for themselves in a couple of years.
Yeah, I was gonna say,
Yeah.
we installed one when our 80-gallon behemoth
Yep.
died. And not only do you save all that, you get all that real estate back in your basement.
Mm-hmm.
But it's phenomenal. I mean, we just love it.
And you did a whole house.
Yep.
Yeah. What did that
Was
cost you?
it gas or?
It was about 4,000.
Gas or
It's
electric?
Gas.
Yeah.
Is the
But I
gas
thought-
more efficient than the electric, mainly because the electric, you're heating cools just like a heat pump versus gas furnace?
Yes, absolutely. Again, it's the same basic principle as the tanked water heater. You always have a pilot light in the gas, and the flames actually ignite when you turn the water on. Okay, to heat the water. It's the same thing. You have a heating element if it's an electric that turns on and off. Now it's going to cycle. The electric is going to cycle much less frequently than with a tank.
So, but it would need to be like inside, right? It would need to
Yeah.
be.
Yeah.
It's been it out.
On an inside
small.
wall.
Somebody
Okay.
asked me, how long does it take for the water to warm up? Well, it's the same amount of time, because basically it just has to travel
Right.
from essentially
Like-
the basement all the
Yeah.
way up to, so, I don't wait any longer for my water to heat up, but I never run out of hot water.
What?
So,
Oh, you
that's
can
one
hear me
thing that
drinking?
people think, and that's why I said earlier, it's not instant hot water, because people think it's instant hot water. It's not instant hot water, but it is, it's endless hot water. Unless, of course, your electricity goes out, but then you're not,
Yeah,
who's in
there's
the shower anyway?
There's no
Can't
such
see.
thing as instant hot water, unless you have an Insta-Hot next to your sink.
Exactly.
Again, same thing, in the wintertime, growing up in New England, I would go in, turn on the shower, and 10 minutes later, because it's all either cast iron or copper pipes, and the exterior walls were not insulated, no insulation anywhere,
So you're rid of
it would
all
take
that.
20 minutes to heat up the shower. It's the same kind of principle.
So just to clarify, so if when your power goes out, that goes out?
If it's an electric, yes. If it's gas, no.
Okay.
How much?
You'd say just like your gas fireplace.
What's like the low and the high range of like electric, the lowest like installed, and like the highest?
It's
installed?
probably, I would not, I don't know about the low end of an electric. I would not expect to pay less than $1,500 or $2,000 for,
Okay.
you know, an apartment size or condo size instant electric hot water heater.
Okay.
But the big mammy jammies can go $5,000, $6,000, $7,000, $8,000. Again, if you're going with gas and it has to, because if it has to be vented and you're in the center of your basement, you've got to get all that drywall, all that work to get a vent out and cut a hole in the you know, in the band board or in the foundation or something to get that vented to the outside. Okay. Yeah, they make it's the same kind of principle. If you've got a propane tank, they do make propane. Yeah.
Just to clarify, you said if the electricity goes off, it won't work, right?
The electric one will not
The
work.
electric.
No, the gas one won't work either, because it still has to have electricity for everything to run, right?
No, not your water. does.
No, it's all based on water pressure and
How
the
does the thermostat work?
it's. Ooh,
See, I don't
You
think
know
it
what?
works when.
I don't think it-
electricity
yeah.
goes out.
I've never had. I thought it was just like a gas
Yeah.
stove or
Yeah, you just.
Well, gas stoves are electronic started anyway, so it's gotta have electricity.
well
No, you
thermostat.
can
No, the
get the gas
thermostat
going
you said.
Well, yeah, you can use a lighter. Yeah.
Yeah.
Electronic.
Okay.
There's
You know what?
electronic- No.
Yeah.
If it's an electronic thermostat,
I was told not to.
but it heats to a certain. You set it at the unit, and it heats to a certain temperature, and then which you control through
Which is controlled by electricity.
at the unit. Right. Is that controlled by electricity? I don't know. It's a good point. It doesn't have to be. It doesn't have to be.
It can just be.
Can be battery powered. You could set it or automatically, if you could set it and all that does is control the. You could set it and all that does is control the amount of gas that's released. So you just set it at a certain point, and that the same amount of gas is released no matter what. I mean, it doesn't have to be, but it does make sense if there's no electric. You know, it's the same principle as your gas range. You set that dial at medium, and light it. It releases a certain amount of gas. But if it goes out and it's still on medium, that's how you control it. It doesn't require electricity to do that. That's how that may be how they control it, because it's just set at a certain temperature, and then you control the temperature that comes out of your shower in the diverter.
And the nice thing is it has, right on the front, I can change the temperature.
Yeah.
I got mine through the gas company because they wanted to encourage us to use that instead of electric.
There are a lot of
They
incentives
gave us
still
like,
out there like
yeah,
that.
some
Yeah.
kind of a deal on no
Do you
interest
have
or
to
something.
like? Is there? You just have to have a plumber do it. They
Yeah.
don't have to be like certified something to
No, it's-
installation of the tank.
Particular brand, is there a particular brand? I mean, something Renault or something?
Renai is the one Renai is the one that is the most prevalent. Again,
Yeah, that's what
I've installed one electric and 2 gas. But I haven't done one in probably 2.5 or 3 years. And it's for a lot of people, it's cost prohibitive. They see a tank water heater they've always used and everything for $1,100, and then the other one's $4,000 or $5,000. It's like, oh, no way.
I Googled it, and it says it should still work. It said it shouldn't matter about the electricity. It says unless it's electric start, and most of them aren't, only very new ones are electric start. It said,
Pilot light.
that's one of the pluses of having it, says power goes out. This guy says he took 30 showers. I think that's kind of a lot, but.
Oh, jeez Louise.
Really?
Power's out for 2 weeks.
Yeah, but that's what it said. It said it's completely gas, so we're good.
Mr. Christian.
I was gonna say, what,
Yeah.
power did I go? Let's open the shower.
Prove a point.
Okay, so a couple of things just for the tank, obviously, just to look for. Obviously, the most obvious is little or no hot water. Then you've got it. You've got an issue somewhere. But the corrosion in the tank is a blatant red flag. Okay,
How do you
again,
fix that?
you don't.
New, time for a
Is
new
that
one.
pre-existing
Time for a new one.
condition?
Time for a new one.
Pre-existing condition.
Okay.
Insurance won't cover it.
I know, how warranties won't.
Questions, comments?
No
I think we covered everything.
No HMS for you. Sorry.
Good.